What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so the other game that we had from yesterday was, what was that, game 5 of the Western Conference semifinals between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors. And this series pretty much ended with Steph Curry's injury. I think if Steph Curry had been healthy, the Warriors would either have already advanced or they'd be on their way to headed toward the Western Conference Finals. You know, not to take anything away from the Timberwolves, but losing Steph Curry in game 1 pretty much changed the course of this series. You know, I kind of almost want to equate it to when Magic Johnson and Byron Scott got hurt in the '89 finals. Because I do believe, even though the Pistons swept the Lakers, if you look at the way those games went, they were somewhat competitive. I truly believe if Magic didn't get hurt, the Lakers would have won that series. And Magic would have 6 championships, Isaiah would have 1, and we really would have a much more serious discussion as far as GOAT conversation. A lot of things if Magic didn't get sick, but you know, that's a whole nother topic, man. But the Wolves eliminated the Warriors 121-110, 4-1. And for the second year in a row, they advanced to the Western Conference Finals. Now, of course, the Timberwolves have never advanced to the NBA Finals. I think this is the 3rd time, if I'm not mistaken. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the 3rd time in their history they've been in the Western Conference Finals. This year, last year, and I think in 2004, when they lost to Lakers, I think it was in 6. Anyway, the Warriors, let me start with the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves were led by Julius Randle, who had 29 points on 13 of 18 shooting. He was 2 of 6 from downtown, 1 of 1 at the line. He also had 8 rebounds. And Anthony Edwards had 22 points on 8 of 15 shooting from the floor, 5 of 9 from 3-point range, 1 of 2 at the line. I think he had 7 rebounds, 12 assists, and 3 blocks in this contest. And also for the Timberwolves, Jaden McDaniels had 14 points, and Rudy Gobert probably had his second best playoff game after the elimination game, I think, with the Lakers when he had the Will Chamberlain numbers. He had 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 block on 8 of 9 shooting in this contest. Mike Conley had 16 points, and Naz Reid had 8 points for the Timberwolves. As a matter of fact, in this game, the Minnesota Timberwolves set records for assists in a game, in a game for the franchise playoffs, 36, and they shot nearly 63% from the floor. As a matter of fact, they shot 77% in twos on 2-point shots. Now, the only reason why the game was even as close as it was is something that the Timberwolves had to work on. See, Steph Curry's injury afforded the Timberwolves to have margin of error, a large margin of error as far as their efficiency, as far as turning the ball over. When you look at the fact that Anthony Edwards had 7 turnovers and Julius Randle had 5 turnovers, that's 12 turnovers amongst their 2 best players. They had 20 turnovers again. I think this is the 3rd game in this series. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, going off memory, but I think this is the 3rd game in this series they had 20 turnovers, or at least close to 20 turnovers in a game. Normally, you're not winning series when you turn the ball over that much. Another thing is that the Timberwolves only went to the line, I believe, 15 times to the Warriors 30. So those 2 things, the discrepancy at the free throw line and turnovers, kept the game closer than what it should be. The Wolves are not going to be able to turn the ball over like that against either OKC, definitely not OKC, and not even Denver, but definitely not the Thunder. If they're that sloppy with the basketball with the Thunder, good night, nurse. This series is going to be over with quick, fast, in a hurry. For the Warriors, Draymond Green. How many times we got to keep telling y'all guys that this dude is not a Hall of Famer, bro? He's not. Real quiet, ain't he? You notice when Steph Curry's not playing or when the Warriors ain't doing, what people expect them to do, really based off of the efforts of the others and Steph Curry, not Draymond. He all of a sudden gets quiet. He damn sure was quiet. He had 10 points. I guess that's something to celebrate. 4 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 6 from 3-point range, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, what are these numbers, man? I know people keep talking about so well. It's not just about the numbers, but come on, man. At some point, bro, what did Draymond Green etched himself into this series? Now that Steph Curry got hurt in this series, exactly at what point did Draymond Green have a signature game? Because Dennis Rodman was not a scorer, but Dennis Rodman could affect the game defensively. Dennis Rodman could still affect the game, you know what I'm saying, even with his limited offensive abilities. I don't see Draymond's signature in this series. Where is it? Jimmy Butler didn't show up after the first game or two. Jimmy Butler's offensive output has been pretty much not overwhelming. It's not overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy Butler, I believe he had 17 points, I think, on 4 of 11 shooting. He was 9 of 11 from the line, but they needed more from him. They needed like a 30-point game from Jimmy Butler. He didn't provide that. Podziemski had 28 points. He had a playoff career high, 11 of 19, 4 of 6 from 3-point range. Jonathan Kuminga, who's probably gone from the Warriors, 26 points, 11-23 shooting. The Warriors shot 43% from the floor, only 11 of 39 from the line. Like I said, the only reason why the score was even that close is because of the sloppiness with the Wolves and the free throw disparity. And the Warriors did show championship resolve at the end. You know what I'm saying? Steve Kerr tried to do a little bit shifting with his lineup. And, when he had Podziemski and Kuminga and who else was in the lineup? Somebody else was starting to score. They were able to cut the lead down to, I think, 7 at one point in time. But then Ant hit a big 3. And then Julius Randle got a bucket off of a turnover from, I think it was Jimmy Butler. And it pushed the lead, what was 7, right back to 13. I think he got an and 1. And pretty much that was it. The Warriors was just trying to play catch up the entire night, at least in the latter stages of the game, and they just didn't have enough offensive firepower. And their offense looked disjointed. It just don't look the same without Steph Curry. So Draymond Green exposed once again as a fake Hall of Famer. The Warriors season comes to an end, and the Timberwolves have reason to celebrate, at least for right now. But tell me what you guys think.